Alright everyone, welcome to Apex. The new season has just dropped, season 14. It is called Hunted, and we're going to go through the patch notes, and then we're going to go through the battle pass. So first, the patch notes. Let's go into it. Alright, so I know about Vantage, I know her abilities, but we're going to go through it anyway for those who don't know. She is a sniper, so her ult ability, we'll read in a second, is that sniper she is currently holding in that photo. So her passive, aim down sights to scout with your eyepiece. I don't know why I was gonna say experience. With your eyepiece, unarmed or with mid to long range scopes, and use a bullet drop indicator to see where your shots will land. Another thing that this actually does, which it doesn't say in the patch notes, but I do know from watching the trailers and stuff, is that when you do aim down sights with a mid to long range, which I think is like a 2 times or above, so anything bruiser or above, maybe even the 1 to 2 when you're scoped into to the 2 times magnification, and when you aim down without anything, like if you have your hands out, like with Seer and his heartbeat that you can aim with your arms out or your hands out, you can actually see the other team and each of their armor, so you know how many of them there are. So if it's only a team of 2, if you're playing trios, or if it's a solo and trios or duos, you know that it's a solo or a duo or whatever, and you know their armor. So it'll show you like in little boxes. It'll show you each armor, so you know what they have. So you can have a team that's full purple, you can have a team that's full gray, which can be super useful information if you're like, let's say your team has full purple shield and you aim down sights at a team, whatever, 300 meters away, and you see that they all have gray shields. You can just straight hard push that because you know you have the advantage right there. It's not a guaranteed win, but it's definitely a big advantage to know that information, and I do know that she does that. And then it also tells you above which legend it is that you're looking at. So if you're aiming at Loba, it'll say Loba right above it, or if it's Revenant, it'll say Revenant, whatever. So if you're like whatever it is, 300, 400 meters away, and it's a little harder to see, it'll just tell you which legend it is. It'll tell you their armor. So she can be really, really good for recon, especially in ranked. I feel like she can be really good for that. Echo location, position your wing companion Echo and then launch toward him. Must have line of sight to Echo for launch. This is kind of a combination between Crypto's drone, Valk's jetpack, and kind of Lobo's bracelet a little bit. So basically you throw out Echo, you don't get to control him, but you do throw him out, and then as long as you have line of sight, you can kind of lock onto his position and fly to it with the jetpack. You kind of soar to it. Now I'm pretty sure you are going to be vulnerable while flying through the air. I don't think you go that fast, so you are very much, it's not like it's kind of like Pathfinder's zipline a little bit, or his, not zipline, his grapple, where you're vulnerable. I think it's a little slower than his grapple, actually, from what I've seen on the trailers and stuff. But that's basically what it is. So you can get like high ground and stuff. She has mobility, which is good for a kind of a recon legend, because a lot of the recon legends don't have a lot of mobility. Seer doesn't really have mobility. Bloodhound has his ult, which makes him faster, but other than that, doesn't really have mobility. So having a recon legend with mobility can be really good. And then the ultimate is the sniper rifle. Use your custom sniper rifle to mark enemy targets, which applies a damage bonus for you and your team. So I do know that the way this one works as well, when you shoot them, they do get marked. It doesn't go through walls or anything, but if they have your teammates have line of sight, it will mark them for them. Also, if they are marked, your teammates will do more damage when hitting them, and you will do increasing damage with your sniper as well. So every shot does more damage. The base shot, I'm pretty sure, is 50 damage, and then the next one goes up to 100, and then I think the next one after that 150. But in 2 shots, you can do 150 damage, which is actually pretty good. It's like blue armor. You can take them out with 150 damage. That's pretty good. King's Canyon. So King's Canyon is coming back, and they added a new POI. You can see it right here. It's on the bottom right. I'm gonna move my mouse around it. It's right here. It's kind of like Skull Town. I don't remember what it's called, but it's not Skull Town. But basically it's right here, and yeah, they kind of took that whole area was salvaged before and made it better, because it was basically just open space. It was garbage. There was just nothing there. It was just open space, and it made the map feel tiny. And so now they kind of opened it up a little bit. They put that Skull Town in there, and it's surrounded by walls. It looks like not all the way around, but a decent amount of the way around has walls, which is good for like preventing third parties from all over the place. Because King Canyon was like the king of third parties, bro. You got in a fight and instantly there was another team right there to pick up the pieces, because the map was so small. So hopefully this helps it a little bit and kind of makes it a little bit bigger. There are some other POI changes that I don't see here that I do know about. I know I don't remember all of them. I'm trying to remember them right now. I know they changed cage. They changed this and made it so you can't go above. Like, you know how before you could like put, you can zip line to the top, and then there was like that top balcony or like the top platform area or whatever where you could put like Watson fences and camp up there. They took that completely out. They opened it up. They took the walls out, so you can't really camp inside of there, which is great because I hated going through there because it was always a team camping up there, and I hated it. They also changed this other area. I don't think you can see it here. Can you? I don't think so. But it's like the area on the side of the... Maybe it's right here. I can't tell. Yeah, it's right here. So this area right here, they changed. This used to be like buildings and stuff, and you could go up here, zip line, and there was like stuff up here. I think. Is that the area? Or am I mistaken? I don't remember. But they changed it. They took the buildings out, and it's just like platforms with pills on them. I don't know how I feel about that one. We'll have to play and see how I feel about that area now. But I think that was it. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I can't tell. But yeah, that map change was a little bit, to me, it was a little bit like, I don't know. I like that POI personally. But we'll see how it plays. I think that's what's we're gonna have to just wait and see how it plays. Or I think it's, no, I think that is, I don't know. But point is, we'll have to see and wait and see how it plays, because just trying to see that off a map or off a trailer, there's no way to really know that. So they finally increased the level cap. Now, I'm not actually level 500 yet because I started playing Apex really late. I literally started playing it last season, right? Like maybe 2 weeks into the last season is when I really started playing Apex, like consistently. Like really actually playing Apex. And so I'm only level like 300 and something. I think 320. So the fact that they increased the level cap is cool. Now there's like a prestige system, so you can go to basically level 2000, but it's because you can go through 500. It goes to 500, then you go to the first like prestige or whatever, and you go to another 500 all the way to 2000. Basically means that everyone is going to get a free heirloom just from playing the game, and you don't actually have to buy anything, because now the number of packs you can see right here via account leveling is now 544. So you have a guaranteed heirloom just playing the game if you reach max level. And a lot of people will get it before they get to max level. I still don't have one, and I'm level 320, but I probably opened like 200 and something packs by now in total, and I do not have. That's kind of like battle pass, just, you know, packs that I've gotten from getting coins and from leveling up. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 250, and I still haven't gotten an heirloom, which is not surprising, but yeah, that's how it is. Yeah, the battle pass always there. Certain battle pass cannot be completed in battle royale or non-battle royale modes, giving you the flexibility to complete the battle pass your way. I only play battle royale pretty much, so I don't really care about that. The ranked, so these are the 13 ranked results. Split 2 who play more than 10 hours of ranked. So this is like from last season. The rank changes. The entry cost it goes up for everyone. Remove diminishing returns on eliminations. Oh, so now they're all worth the same? So now RP doesn't go, because before it was like the first kill was 1 RP, but then it would go down after every kill. So like second kill was like 0.75 RP, then 0.5, then 0.25. Now there's no diminishing returns, so that means that they're all equal. So now every RP is 1 RP. That's crazy, kind of. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Balance update. Okay, this is what I'm interested to. Big time. The weapons, the changes on weapons. Laser sights. New attachment to replace barrels for SMGs and pistols. Interesting. And they reduced the hipfire spread on... Is that in general, or is that just for SMGs and pistols? Either way, that's going to be good. Interesting that they took barrels off of SMGs and pistols. I wonder if that's going to make the R99 less used, because it does have more kick. I enjoy it regardless, but I know there's probably going to be people that aren't going to use it as much if there's more kick, because you can't put a barrel on it. If you can't put a barrel stave on it, then it does have kick. So I wonder if the R99 is going to be used as much, because it is the one with the most kick. I think because the car doesn't really have as much kick. I think the R99 is the one with the most kick. Okay, the G7 Scout is back on ground loot. I don't really like the G7 that much, but I mean, okay. The Volt's back. Ooh, I haven't actually played with the Volt on ground loot at all, I don't think, but I really like the Volt from the package. I like the way it shoots, I like the way it feels, and of course it does extra damage, but still. That's gonna be really interesting. I'm definitely interested in using the Volt a lot, because it's floor loot again. The bow check compound bow enters the crate. Interesting, they put the bow in the crate. That could be really good if that means that all the arrows that clutter up all the freaking floor loot is gone. Because the arrows were really annoying, cluttering up floor loot and stuff. You would go loot places and it would just be arrows. So that could be actually really good. And then the Rampage goes into the crate. Interesting. So no Rampage on the ground anymore. Okay. I didn't mind the Rampage. People hate that gun, but I didn't mind it as much as most people did. I actually kind of enjoyed using it. Wingman returns to the floor. Okay, Wingman's back. And the car. Oh, man. Interesting. Interesting. So the car and Wingman are both back on floor loot. Oh, man. A lot of options. Okay, okay. The Devo's going in the crafter. Thank God. I hate dying to that thing. And now it's going to be less often used because it's in the crafter. So I'm glad about that. It's like when the Rampage in the crafter, you never saw it. Devo's going to be the same way pretty much. It's going to be a lot more rare to see because it's not on the ground loot. RE45 hammer point combo enters the crafter. Wait, so is the RE gone as floor loot? I actually like the RE. Is it gone as floor loot completely? I would assume so, yeah. So the RE45 hammer point combo. So you can, when you make it, you get both. Enters the crafter. Interesting. So now the gold weapon rotation. These are the weapons that can be gold in the high loot areas of the map. So now you can get a longbow from gold longbow, gold scout, gold Mozam, gold R99, and gold hemlock. Interesting. So SMG's base hipfire spread increased, and assault rifles also. Wait, but didn't they just say over here reduce hipfire spread? Oh, that's if you use the laser sight, you have reduced hipfire spread. Oh yeah, I'm an idiot. Never mind. So yeah, so they did increase the hipfire spread now, so you can't hipfire as effectively. We'll see how drastic that changes. Because if it's not super crazy, then it won't make a difference. But if it is, and you need a laser sight to hipfire, it's gonna be really interesting. Having to have, because you get so used to hipfiring sometimes that if you are like, it's gonna take time getting used to having to aim in every single time. I aim in a lot more. I probably aim in a lot more than most people when it comes to close range fights, and it gets me in trouble sometimes. But I'm just so used to it that that's just how I play. But I do hip fire sometimes, and I wonder how big the change is. It'll be really interesting. EVA 8. Did they buff the EVA 8? Recoil improvements. Now take stocks. Removed one pellet from blast pattern. Fire rate increase. They did buff it. Fire rate increased 2.3 from 2.0. Pellet damage increased from 7 to 6. Bolt rate of fire bonuses increased 1.1, 1.1. Okay, that one didn't change. 1.1 to 1.2, 1.2 to 1.3. Okay, so they did buff the EVA 8. Hopefully it's good, because the EVA 8 used to be really good before I started playing. But by the time I started playing, the EVA 8 had already been nerfed into the ground and was garbage. So I hope they do make it better, because it needs it. Because the thing is, especially with the Mastiff in the box, which it still is, because we looked at the crates, they didn't change the Mastiff. It's still in the box. But the thing with the Mastiff in the box is the only real viable shotgun. I mean, the Mozam's not terrible, but realistically, the only viable shotgun is a Peacekeeper. If you're going to run a shotgun, you're running a PK. You're not running anything else. So it'd be nice to have another shotgun in the rotation that is actually viable, that can be actually used, you know? Okay, so the bow. Damage at full draw increased from 70 to 60. Wait, damage at full draw increased from 270 from 60. I need to learn how to read. Tempo draw speed increased. Shattercraft pellet damage increased from 12 to 11. Field arrows can no longer be collected. Fired arrows, sorry, can no longer be connected. Interesting. Arrow spawns have been removed from the floor. Thank God. Yeah, I mean, it got buffed because it went in the crafter, so not surprised. Damage increased 28 from 26. Rampage comes with a thermite grenade. Oh, so you can instantly... Well, you don't always have it, but you can instantly, like, rev it up or whatever if you need to. The Volt HMC damage is reduced from 15 from 17 because it's not in the crafter. I mean, not in the box anymore. In the care package, so that's gonna happen, but I still really like the way it shoots, so I'm still gonna try to use it a lot. Car SMG no longer takes barrel attachments. Interesting. See, this is what I'm saying. I wonder if now, because the SMGs don't take barrels and you can't like really mitigate recoil as much. The stocks kind of mitigate recoil a little, but not as much as the barrels. The barrels are the main ones for that. Now you have to deal with the natural recoil of the gun without any attachment that helps that. I wonder if that is gonna make people use like the alternator more, and the Volt. At least the Volt in the box didn't have a lot of recoil. Like I said, I've never really played Volt floor loot, so I don't really know that well how it is normally. But in the box, it really didn't have any recoil on that. I know it comes full attachments, so can't really talk on it. The car doesn't have a crap ton of recoil, so you might still see the car. You might see the car a lot actually, because that's gonna be the preferred SMG over the alternator because it does more damage and shoots faster. and over the R9, because the R9's recoil, I think you're going to see a lot of car and a lot of volt. I think those are going to be the main two SMGs if I had to guess. The scout damage reduced from 234 from 36. Why do you word it like that? Come on. Headshot multiplier is reduced to 1.75. Double tap hop burst fire delay increased from 0.4 to 0.35. Okay. L-Star increased the projectile speed. Oh, they're buffing the L-Star. Increased number of shots before overheat base from 24 to 24 from 20, and removed the bright red flash when hitting non-armored targets. Interesting. So they buffed the L-Star. Okay. Increased iron sight FOV to 70 to be consistent with other pistols. The RE. Okay. Increased strafe speed. Ooh, 5% to be consistent with other pistols. So it was, yeah, it was a little bit slower, but it always did more damage. Wingman now uses sniper ammo and mags. Interesting. Very interesting. I mean, it makes sense because it basically is a sniper shotgun pistol shock thing. Look, it's like every weapon in one, but it makes sense to move it out of the heavy, because what would happen is basically, especially after the R301 went in the box, although it's been out for a season now, but ever since it went in the box, it's been all heavy ammo. Like, you rarely see the light ammo being used. It's a lot of like flatline with shotgun, or you see a Spitfire or the Wingman or whatever, and not a lot of the light weapons are being used. Sometimes you see an R9, but that would be like the only viable light weapon until the R301 came back on floor and the Wingman went in the box. But even still, basically the only light weapons you would really see being used consistently is the R9 and the R301, while you would see a lot of heavy weapons being used. The car, although the car takes both, but still, the car, the Wingman, the Flatline, the Spitfire, the Rampage. There's just a lot of heavy weapons, so it's good to kind of declutter that a little bit. Sniper ammo inventory and stock increased from 228 from 24. Sniper ammo boxes now contain 14 rounds instead of 12. Interesting. Spitfire vertical adjustments to increase vertical barrel climb. So the Spitfire has more recoil now. Interesting. And it's now a light ammo gun. See, they're really decluttering. That's what I'm saying. They're really decluttering that heavy weapons category and trying to buff up the light ammo one. So now the Spit and the R301 are both in the light ammo category. Although if it has a lot of recoil, people might not want to use it. But yeah, that'd be really interesting. Okay. The 3030 dual loader has been worked onto into the base 3030 repeater. Now takes Skull Piercer rifle. Oh, Skull Piercer's back. I never played with Skull Piercer, but I knew that was a thing in the past. Or maybe I did, but when I played like way back in the day, I only played a little bit and I didn't know that much of the game. So it might have been in then, I don't remember. But it's back apparently, so that's cool. Okay. Master projectile growth reduced. Base fire rate reduced from a 1.1 to 1.1 from 1.2, and dual loader removed. Interesting. So they kind of nerfed it a little. I don't think that's gonna make that big a difference, to be completely honest. I think it's still gonna be really good because it's still a care package weapon. But they did nerf it. Interesting. Sentinel, Deadeye's Tempo has been worked into the base Sentinel. Okay, so is Deadeye's Tempo just not in the game anymore? Or is it just not usable for the Sentinel anymore? Or what? What's going on? Okay, the hop up. Here we go. Oh yeah, and this one says that. Wait. So where's the 3030? So the dual loader working to the 3030 repeater. So I'm so confused. So they're taking like hop-ups off floor loot? What's going on here? Okay, hop-ups. Double tap. Add burst fire mode to EVA 8 and G7 Scout. Right, so double tap is back because I had taken that out. They really are helping the EVA 8 out because the EVA 8, man, is it was just not good. The Scout with that might be interesting as well. Skull Piercer. So this was a big attachment that really buffed a lot of weapons. So 35% headshot damage increase on the longbow, the Wingman, which is huge, and the 3030. Remove Deadeye's Tempo and Shattercast from floor loot. Okay, so it kind of declutters the hop-up category a little bit, although you get 2 new ones, so not really. Boosted loader has been reduced to epic quality from legendary. Interesting. Makes sense, because the boosted loader was, other than the Wingman, like, you could put it on a Hemlock, but, like, you never really used it for that. It was always for a Wingman, so the fact that it was legendary was kind of ridiculous. Backpack Go Perk. Okay, so I know about this. This was a big time, like, controversy. People hated it. Thing that happened. So, the gold backpack, which used to give you the fast res and the you would heal your teammates to like half health and half shield with the gold backpack. They changed that, so now the new perk for the backpack is Deep Pockets. So you get to carry 3 batteries and medkits instead of 2, and 2 Phoenix kit stack instead of 1. So it basically helps you carry more meds, which makes sense. Um, Although I do believe maybe like Lifeline should have had that ability herself anyway, because she is a medic, so it makes more sense she'd be able to carry more meds. But they added it to the gold backpack. The knockdown shield is now the one that has the Guardian Angel, or the quick res and heal. And self revive has been completely taken out of the game. That is huge. And people were very angry, especially the casual player base was very angry, because pros have been complaining a lot about the self res, because especially in ranked, when you get towards end circle, you could literally win a game and or like get better placement than a team that just killed your whole team but hasn't finished you because you're fighting another team, just because you have self res and they don't. I honestly don't mind this, because look, at the end of the day, the self res wasn't really that good other than that scenario. Like, if you really think about it, self res, like, I almost never get a self res off. It's very rare because it takes so long, it's so fucking loud, and you're super vulnerable. They just kill you every time you even try to self res. So even if you have it, you very rarely get self res off. The biggest thing is just the health of the actual shield, right? Because you try to thirst somebody with it, it takes forever because they have a gold knockdown. So that change isn't that big a deal for me, because I don't really, it's not that big a game changer, I don't think, right? Like, it wasn't that overpowered to begin with, other than those really high, like high tier, high skill rank end games. Like, that was where it really was an issue, not in regular games. Gold res has never been a problem for me anyway in those scenarios. And if your biggest issue is that if you die now, you just die, don't die. Like, just be good, get good, don't get knocked and have to use a gold knockdown, right? Like, it just, that's as simple as that. You don't get a second chance token. Like, you don't get a get out of jail free card. You have to now just not go down, right? If you want to go up, or hope your teammate clutches and reses you. One thing I do now realize, though, is this probably buffs Newcastle quite a bit, because now if he has a gold knockdown, he can res you quickly and get you up, and also his shield that he puts up when he's resing is gold. So it's like, it buffs him a little bit. I don't know if he's going to be really that usable still, because his other abilities are like not great, but that buffs him in terms of that specific ability of resing. The Arc Star, oh, reduced stick damage on armor from 210 from 40. Damn, it really, they nerfed it. Remove aim slow on stick, remains on detonation. Detonation damage increased to 75 from 70. Well, now it does a total damage of 90 or 85 instead of 110. So they did nerf the Arc Stars a little bit. And like I said, like it says here, it removes your aim slow. So now when you get stuck, you don't slow down like you used to. You only do that when it actually explodes and damages you. So when you're stuck, you can still move just as quickly. Explosive holds. Oh yeah, because King's Canyon is back. You're going to get the holds back. Added blue attachments to possible spawns. Added laser attachments to the pool. And reduced spawn rate of gold magazines. Interesting. Okay, this is going to be... So now these are the Legends adjustments. This is going to be... excuse me. This is going to be really, really interesting. So... Valk, the VTOL jets. Acceleration on activation decreased by about 8%. Fuel consumption on activation increased by 33%. Area boosting and strafing take a 20% debuff when hit by slowing effects. And it added a third orange state of fuel meter UI between green and red. Interesting. So they nerfed her movement a little bit. You obviously, these are just numbers. You don't really know the full effect until you play. But these are just numbers. But so far, it's been a nerf to her movement. Missile Swarm aims, turn, slow, remove, so you don't get slowed by it anymore when you get hit. You do get slowed, but not your aim or your turn. It's just the like actual movement. And it's decreased from 2.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Okay, and then the reducing explosion radius from 175 to 125. Thank you, God. Nothing was more annoying than getting out of the way of those and still getting hit in Narnia, because the range of it was so huge. So they shrunk that, so now if you get away from it enough, you won't get hit, and that is so useful. I hated getting stunned by those things, even though I wasn't in the actual like swarm. It was so annoying, so I'm glad they did that. Skyward Dive, hit height reduction of 25%. Oh, you don't go as high, so you won't go as far. And there's probably gonna be a lot of mountains and stuff now you can't get over with Valk. Wow, this nerf might actually hurt Valk a lot. I don't know that much. Depends how far the drop in height is. Because if it's still decent, you can still use it for mobility. People will still be using her, but that's a big nerf that you can't go. That's a quarter of the height gone from being able to go up. Launch time reduced from 5.5 seconds to 5 seconds. So, Coupled with the height reduction, players in Valk ult now travel upward at a slightly slower speed. So you're more vulnerable to get shot out of the freaking sky now when you're trying to go up and launch. But the launch time itself was reduced. So instead of taking 5.5 seconds to launch, you take 5 seconds. But you also go slower as you're going up. Okay. Horizon. Oh wait, is this 5? No, yeah, I think that's what it is. Horizon, the black hole, just needs a new hitbox to make destroying it more reliable. That's good, because that was really annoying. You try to shoot it, and you like the hitbox was so weird sometimes with it. Black hole new takes 50% more damage from explosives. Interesting. So now, if you're a Horizon and you won't be able to throw as many explosives because or you will be able to throw them, but they won't. Your ult won't hold the team as long because your explosives will break new quicker, so you'll be able to get out of it more quickly. So they kind of nerfed her ult a little bit. Watson, improvements to perimeter security placement system. So they changed the way you place down the fences. That's interesting. Okay. Newcastle, the retrieve the wounded, increased move speed during revive by 25%. That's big because you were really slow. Reduce the turn slow while reviving by 50%. Also big. Increase the white knockdown shield health from 150 to 200. And the blue knockdown shield health from 250 to 300. So he only gets that. That's actually a good buff, I think. Mobile shield increases HP from 350 to 500, so it's stronger. And double max movement speed. So now it moves a lot faster. That was one thing with the mobile shield. The concept was really cool, but your character moves so much faster than the mobile shield that it just didn't really make sense to it wasn't as useful because you're moving so much slower than the actual shield was. Castle wall added turn slow to electrical barrier effects and increased severity of slow effect to movement. Interesting. So they tried to buff Newcastle, essentially is what they're trying to do, because they realized that people weren't really. He was brand new and no one was using him. Like I played a lot of hours of Apex. You don't see a lot of Newcastles. Like you just don't. You see them every now and then, but you rarely see them because they're just not that good. Mad Maggie, the Riot Joe. Projectile launch speed doubled. Okay, so it shoots faster. Cool. Wrecking Ball will travel twice as far while dropping the same amount of magnets. Duration increased from 5 to 10 seconds. Magnet spawn delay increased from 0.4 to 0.8. The Wrecking Ball will do damage to enemy placeable objects like the black market, the walls, the exhibit, death totem, mobile shield, black hole, amp cover, and gas barrels. It would also destroy Gibraltar's dome of protection. Interesting. The Wrecking Ball is like a counter to Gibby now, because it'll destroy his Gibby's bubble, or Gibby, because it says it would also destroy Gibby's bubble. So now you can use a Maggie ult to take out Gibby's bubble. Running a Maggie in competitive might be meta. If you just throw the ult and it immediately takes out the Gibby bubble or the Gibby bubble, it might be huge, because if you couple Maggie with like a Gibby or Horizon maybe, where you're trying to do an ult or an ability on a whole team. Like, this is one specific scenario. Obviously, it's just good in general to take out the bubble and be able to shoot the team. But let's say you have a team pin and you want to throw a Gibby ult, or you want to throw Horizon ult, or you want to throw, even a Bang ult, I guess, even though it's not as effective, or something like that. But you can't because they have a Gibby, so they can put on the Gibby bubble. You can literally just time it so that when you throw, let's say, the Gibby ult, as soon as you throw Gibby ult, you throw the Maggie ult, they're going to bubble, you throw the Maggie ult, it breaks the bubble and it hits them with the Gibby ult. So if that's an insta one-shot to Gibby's bubble, I think Maggie might be super meta in competitive, because Gibby is one of the biggest. Like, I think every team kind of has one because they're so useful in competitive. But if the Wrecking Ball can instantly destroy his bubble, that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Fix Wrecking Ball not binding and slowing enemies. Okay, we gotta test this stuff out. What we'll do is, I'm gonna make a video where I go into the firing range and I test out, like, does it one shot? Does the Gibby bubble one shot? Get one shot by Maggie's ult now, like all the other stuff, and test them out. Rather than trying to find that situation in game specifically. Rampart now ignores friendly collision on amped cover placement. Placing walls around teammates will feel more smooth. Okay, I didn't play Rampart that much, so I don't know if that was an issue, but I guess that's good that they fixed that. Fix the gas ramping bug where transitioning from friendly to enemy gas would initially damage for more than intended. I played Caustic a decent amount. I never really had this issue, so that's interesting. Mirage decoys will now be scanned by Valk when skydiving. Interesting. Mirage decoys will now be picked up by Seer's Heartseeker. Interesting. Fix the bug where Mirage decoys are picked up by Seer's Exhibit as AI and not players. Interesting. Okay, so they gave Mirage a tiny buff. I don't think that makes that huge difference, to be honest, but still. Revenant Death Totem will now show a placement preview when activated instead of placing immediately. Okay. Crafting update. Team use harvesters. When any player interacts with the materials harvester, all players in their team will be given the materials. Remove shadow rounds from crafting. Okay. Remove hammer points from base crafting and add it to the RE45 weapon craft. Okay, so you do craft them both. High energy and sniper mags price increase from 35 to 20. Oh, 235 from 25. Laser sight added to crafting for 25 materials. Interesting. Stock and barrel price reduced to 25 from 35. They added a skull piercing rifling hop up to crafting. Add a double chop trigger hop up to crafting. The kinetic feeder hop up to crafting. Oh, you can make a kinetic feeder. Interesting. So if you want to run a PK and you can't find a kinetic feeder, you can make one now. Increase shotgun bolt price from 230 from 25. Why do they word it this way? Respawn. Come on, man. Reduce the 2 to 4 ACOG price from 230 from 35. Okay. The maps. My assumption. I wonder if they can. Oh, I guess they are gonna have all 4, right? Damn. All right. The maps for rotating public content are... Oh, no. Okay, they're not. So they took out... Which sucks. I actually like Olympus. I know a lot of people don't like Olympus, but I actually do. So it's going to be Kings Canyon, World's Edge, and Storm Point for the public matches. All Battle Royale maps. So replicated characters have been rebalanced across the maps. Ring adjustments. So the Ring 1 damage is increased. So now Ring 1 is the same as Ring 2. Interesting. Ring 1 pre-shrink time decreased. Okay. So now it's less time before the first ring starts to close. Ring 1 closing time 410, 432, 342, 432, 415, 435, 410, 432. Okay. Yeah, so now it starts shrinking a lot earlier than it did before. Interesting. Remove some frustrating final rings of staging that were causing heal-offs. Fragment East loot buff from low tier to medium. Added Oob to West Rocks at... This is the out of balance, by the way. To West Rocks at Lava Siphon. Okay, interesting. Quality of life. New mode, map name, UI element on load screen and start flow. Winning and champion tags added to the scoreboard. Added ability to use tap and interact prompts when they conflict with hold. Interesting. That's going to be really interesting. Because I play on controller, so reloading near down teammates is now a lot more reliable. This was annoying. Let's say I'm fighting and trying to keep a teammate alive from getting thirsted, right? And I'm right above the teammate shooting the other guy. Now I got to reload. It was so annoying. Every time that happened, you would try to res, and then you have to come off the res, run away from your teammate, reload, and come back. It was so annoying. So hopefully that fixes that. Added flourish to crafting materials top right of the HUD when they increase. Added a flourish to items that become craftable while in the crafting station UI. Added accessibility switch for turning on and off text speed. Okay, that doesn't matter. When dropping from the dropship, location of the POI player lands in is now displayed. Okay. I think this video might have to be split into 2 for the battle pass, because depending on how long this section has gone, I feel like it's gone long enough that I'm gonna have to make this its own video with just the patch notes. But I'm excited, man. I like a lot of the changes. I really do. I actually do. There's not really any changes I don't like. I didn't really have any complaints when I was reading through it. At all, really. I mean, other than the R45 going into crafter, but that's not really that big a deal. I do like the R45, but like it's not a big deal that it goes into the crafter. I don't mind the crate changes. The only question I have is the hip fire. If it's really bad on SMGs now, like how big is the difference on the hip fire? You know. But that's about it. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to start playing. So I'm just gonna go right into it. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like, make sure to subscribe, hit that little notification bell. I post pretty much every day. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.